this is like a strict warning to all the policemen that are being deployed for this very close election, forthcoming election. Now, I'd like you to throw some light on this as it concerns the warning per se, and as it has been in the past elections.
Well, in the past, we've seen cases where, security personnel display acts of crass partisanship. What that does is that it, negatively impacts public confidence in an institution that ought to be impartial in the discharge of its responsibility. Part of the reasons we have cases of voter apathy in most of the elections in this country, aside from the obvious fact of the voter register being padded, the other reality is that quite often people don't feel safe enough to come out to vote. And part of the reason for that is that people don't have faith in the police and the other security agencies that are deployed on election duty to discharge duties. The other thing is that I think that there has to be some code of conduct, if it doesn't exist already, to guard the actions of these policemen on essential duty on election day. The police as an organization, as an institution, should take care of the welfare of its men in uniform who are deployed on election duty. Once you allow a situation where police officers get, fed, if you like, or they are refreshed, to use a more benign term, they are refreshed by, partisans as election, because you have situations where, under the guise of taking care of the welfare of party officials at the polling unit, there is, in some cases, heavy deployment, if you like, of food, and the police officers on duty partake of that feast. In addition to, monetary handouts, these things are likely to influence or prejudice them against parties opposed to the parties that are responsible for their refreshment. So we also need to consider all of these issues. But I think it's a timely warning, but I think it's going to be an empty warning if it is not backed up by actions. And also, I think there should also be actions for even the political actors themselves. Is it not worrisome that we are gradually moving towards 30 years of democratic practice, and it doesn't seem to me that we are consolidating democracy at this point? We should take for granted that people should go to the elections and vote without having the kind of heavy deployment of security we see on election days. In fact, some people are even saying that we should evolve to a state where we may not even need to announce a restriction of movement on elections day. People can go vote and then return to work. I mean, imagine shutting down the entire economy for one day, as we do during elections, and then there is restriction of movement, business concerns can open, and then, so I think we should begin to look towards that. While it is a healthy thing that the police is doing its responsibility, for me, I dream of a situation where we won't need heavy police involvement or heavy security involvement during elections. Would have imbibed some of the ethos of democracy, some of the ethics of democracy, would have become acculturated to democracy to the point where we can carry out these things without necessarily resorting to over policing or over securitizing the area.